Hello, this is TW. Welcome back. Before we get into the story, please subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet. It's free and only require you to click on the button below. It would really help my channel a lot. Thanks. Well then, let's start by turning down the background, shall we? Today, we have a ProRevenge story posted by a user, Garmtin. Let's start the story. I worked at a clothing store in a mall for a year and a half. It wasn't fun, but I was thinking back to my time there recently, and I forgot this golden gem of ProRevenge. So a new girl had just been hired, as many new people did in that job, and right away you could tell she thought she was hot shit. We're talking acting like a manager, talking for many hours she had, and worst of all, she wouldn't shut up about all the dudes she was banging and how the money she got from them was the most important part. To put it lightly, she was a cold-hearted bitch who made everyone feel bad about their insignificant lives, as she put it. Here's where things go down. In our store, all the racks were made steel bars and hooks that is really hard to break and really expensive. They could, however, be bent out of shape if you put a lot of coats on them for long periods of time. Miss Hotshit here thought it would be a good idea to impress the management by putting all the coats on the same rack, using the milled steel bars instead of a circular rack that wouldn't warp. I protested, of course, as I'd been there longer, but she said, "I get paid more than you, so do what I say." She got hired as a key holder hour of the gate, so she made $1 more than I did per hour. I go along with it by putting the heavy winter coats on the milled steel and go about my life. Well, 2 weeks later, the milled steel is, of course, warped, and when the management saw this, they flipped. To a cheap store, any cost was a bad thing to them. Anyways, she blamed it on me, and I get written up for it. Now, I refused to sign it, so they gave me less hours, which also cuts my pay. Because of her lies, I was now making 50% less than before, and had a formal written complaint against me. To say I was ticked off wouldn't even start it. So, I devised a plan to get back at her. You see, the drywall on the center pillar had sustained water damage for an early melt earlier that year, making them extremely soft. However, they provide some of the largest coverage of shelf space in the entire store, meaning basically a good 20% of shelf space couldn't be used. Now, the kicker is, Miss Hotshit didn't know about this, as she came in a week after it had happened. And to the naked eye, you wouldn't think that pillar couldn't be used, as there was banners on it to try and hide the part that yellowed. I may have suggested that it was such a waste to not have product on the pillars, and how someone could have come up with a nice display on it, and it would bring in a lot of customers due to how people could see it from the main floor of the mall. We were just off the food court. Her eyes lit up. Now here's the thing. I was taking a small break to a nice snowy lake cabin the next day, and the people she had working with her were the manager or the temps who were not allowed to handle marketing and logistics. That is, putting shelf or rack up on the wall due to their cost and the incident that got me wrote up. Now, I knew she wouldn't want the managers to see it because she wanted all the glory to herself. She wanted to show that out of our 3 stores in the mall, her store was the best while the managers weren't around. So she, being with a temp, and them not being able to put up shelving, put the heavy winter clothing on the milled steel racks attached to the soft drywall pillars. Within a week, the drywall on the pillars collapsed and ruined $500 worth of product. Now, she tried to shift the blame on me, but I was away for the whole week. So it could not have been me, because obviously that can't happen if I'm in the forest hundreds of miles from civilization. So no dice there, and she promptly got charged with the repair demoted to sales associate, and written up for what they finally realized was not just this, but the one they wanted me to sign. The repair was $2,500, plus the $500 stock that got destroyed when 40 pounds of drywall came crushing down on it. But I wasn't done yet. You see, our manager in our store specifically was pretty chill, and she's still a personal friend to me. She had a group chat so we could talk off hours and keep up to date. Now, as I mentioned before, she wouldn't shut up about all the men she was playing and how the only thing that mattered was the money. And boy oh boy did she use the group chat to say a lot of this. Sometimes one of these dudes would come around and take her to lunch. Let's just say when she was in the back for a little while finishing something up, I let them see the text channel if they promised not to let her know I told them. So often they'd go on their lunch date, and after 1 or 2 days she'd be down a man. Finally this boiled over when one of them took her phone, saw how many guys she had been banging for money, and messaged all of them about how much of a lying cheat she was. After 2 months, her fountain of man money dried up, and now demoted to a sales associate, she didn't have the money to spend on all her lavish night out or designer clothing. She eventually moved up to another store for more hours and stole money from the till, causing her to get fired. A fitting end to a backstabbing ice queen, I thought. I eventually left that job after half a year later to pursue my current job. Edit. To clear things up, to those saying that charging an employee for repairs is illegal 100%. However, she decided to instead take a pay cut until it was paid back and keep her job rather than being fired. Minimum wage here is $15 per hour, so she took the cut down to approximately $12 in order to pay it back. Also, this company is super sketchy and will do anything to not pay for their mistakes, even going as far as to leave a hole in the roof, water damage, there for 10 months before fixing it, making it unable to put anything there during spring. And that's the end of the story. Okay, I like how OP let Miss Hotshit to dig up her own hole and jump in. So how's the story? Do you like it? Let me know in the comment section down below. Well, that's it for the story today. Again, please subscribe if you haven't yet. It's just a simple click on my icon near the end of the video or the button right below. Some people might ask, why? My answer is this. 1. It is free. I don't see why not. 2. You get an extra video every day to enjoy even though I'm not your first pick. Isn't that great? Even if you ran out of videos to watch, you still have me, sitting in a jazzy bar, waiting to tell you more interesting stories. 3. It gave me some emotional support to keep making videos, as it does get kinda sad and lonely to keep uploading without any people watching, you know. If you already did, please know that I really appreciate that. Thank you, and we'll see you again next time. Have a great night.